Welcome to FMA Talk. I am Datu Tim, and what are you doing here?
I finally just told Ty he's got to accept reality and he's got to move along. And
So you've kicked it out.
He took it a little hard, but
Oh my goodness!
ultimately he as well concluded that it's for the best.
It is time for Ty to. Or it happens to be his wife's birthday today.
No.
And decided to do the smart thing. Oh, look at that, Mark. Yeah. Look at that. Rich Parsons already said hello and it's coming in. And
yes, he did the smart thing.
And it goes, finally, Renee, finally, Ty's gone. So, hey, brother. So I haven't seen you since Salem, which did we do a show? We did a little show about Salem.
We did, yeah. We did
an FMA discussion on Salem.
We could. Yeah, we could. Yeah, we did. Well, actually, we did. Yeah, right at the event.
So we haven't talked much about it today, or since then. I mean, we had a blast. I mean, let's see here. Sam Wolf says hello. First Facebook user. Good evening, gentlemen. Finally got in at the beginning. Don't know who that is. Another person says, greeting from the Bay Area.
Bay Area.
Jobo? I don't know. And then, or Jobu, maybe. And then, hey, Datu Tim and Dean Franco. So a couple of you guys are just not coming up on who it is because Facebook gets
does that.
Okay. Oh, and Danny Terrell. There you go. Coach Danny. I just saw some footage of him recently teaching some people. Oh, and Brock was there.
Yes.
And it was a good time, So Brock probably traveled the longest to get there.
Where's he from?
Fast way of getting there.
Where's he from?
So he's east of Pittsburgh. So he's 2 hours almost directly south of me, but it's not on any major highways. So you have to go away to a major highway.
Trip. Yeah.
And of course, it's a diagonal up that way, and there's no diagonal highways.
It's a long trip. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real pain in the butt. But that was great. I mean, we had people from Maine come down, which was awesome.
I thought it was fantastic. Matter of fact, I'm by no means am I saying they should do this, but it'd be kind of neat if they did it every year. I just thought it was that.
Well, we're talking about turning it into a camp, which is, that was one of the goals. So I think we're just one step shy of doing that. Mike and May Williams were the hosts, and they are now in the Philippines. And shortly after, they will be going to Indonesia. So they're doing Arnis and Silat. Cool thing. They will be doing a Silat camp for us this July in Buffalo. So the World Modern East Alliance is going to be offering a Silat program. So the Williams will be curating this. I might work on my involvement would purely be on development of the curriculum sheets, that kind of stuff, the layout, the sheets and stuff like that. But when it comes to material, that's all them. Obviously we're going to talk about some things. I want to make sure that it is something that is age appropriate for everyone. And I don't mean like lethality. I'm meaning that material that one's body doesn't get beat up on.
Correct. Yeah, all the takedowns and the manipulations. Yeah.
Kurt, hello from Alaska. And then what kind of Arnis are they doing in the Philippines? Well, I know they were hanging out with Rodell de Guck.
Right. They were hanging out with him. I saw the pics. Yeah.
And I got hello, Datu. Don't know who you are, unfortunately. It's not coming through on this way. I might try opening up another window.
It's so strange it does that. I wonder why.
It depends on what it boils down to is not all of the page permissions. It depends on how you're watching it. Are you a member of the group or are you just watching? Like, you can watch stuff on some of our pages without being a member.
Gotcha.
And I bet you if you liked it, is there? Oh, and Lyman, rubber moose salute from Maine. Take that, Kurt. He saw your chicken and raised the moose.
Oh, he's doing the moose.
Yes. Yeah. Lyman was at the small circle camp, I think, that weekend, so that's why we didn't see him. But we saw him the week before. Mr. Hiltz, Grand Rapids, Northern Ontario. Very good, very good. Yeah, we started off with the promo video. We already had like 7 people watching, which, usually it's like they start trickling in, and so things are good. So so that event went very well. And then I have some cool news.
What's that?
News/bragging, some people will say.
Let's hear
And I
it.
really don't care.
So, nor should you.
No, yeah. So last week, I got to spend a week in revisiting Barbados. It's probably been like my 5th or 6th visit. And had a blast. We did the Caribbean Martial Arts Festival.
You can watch
First one since COVID.
Okay.
And now I've got some very cool possibilities coming down the road. But we did a couple of days of training. Well, I was training pretty much every day. One of my guys from Germany was over, Michael Werner, who's also one of the members of the DAV. He actually is the first full graduate from the Modern East University. So the Modern East University is a virtual course. And when you test for your black belt through the virtual course, the highest you can test for is just basic black. You don't even get a degree. If you're going to get above a degree, if you're going to do degrees like first and higher, you need to go hands-on.
Yeah.
So he's not the first to pass the virtual. Actually, yeah, he's the first to pass the virtual test, and he just got promoted while we were in Barbados to second-degree black belt.
Nice.
Candelawa did a great job. And hello from the Philippines, Mr. User. Don't know who you are, but please let us know. I'd love to know if it's someone we already hang out with. But Barbados was awesome.
Like that.
And we're going to do another Caribbean Martial Arts Festival in 2025. And the cool thing about that is that the Caribbean Martial Arts Festival will also be the co-host of the Caribbean Modern Arts camp.
So, in other words, it gives me enough time to plan for.
There we go. So here we go. There's me. Look at that scruffy face. We're going to go catamaraning.
Look at that.
That's El Tigre, which is one I like. I had one of my fitness kickboxers come down with her husband.
Look at that water. Oh my God.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And then that's just on one. That was on the cruise. So it was okay. So this was Friday the 13th, and we went on a 3-hour cruise.
Yeah.
I made sure that no one was on the ship named Gilligan, Marianne, or the professor.
Yes.
Or Ginger. So, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, you're just too young to figure that stuff out. So, I went. And then we they did a 5-hour cruise. So here's if you're down there, El Tigre, I highly recommend them. Really nice people, very reasonable. We did a 3-hour tour. To date, it was $75.
Wow.
$105 for the 5-hour tour. Now here's the thing: I would have been off good with a 2.5-hour tour. So what happens? We went out for like 10-15 minutes. Then we dived. We dove this one wreck. We were doing scuba. Snorkel. So we did the one was a ship that was like 100 years old. Then we sailed, motored, whatever, over another 10-15 minutes to where a barge was sunk. We snorkeled there. Fish were everywhere. I had tarpons, huge tarpons. When they say the fish was that big,
Yeah.
Well, it was bigger than that. I'm like, what the heck is this? And then someone said it's a tarpon afterwards. I'm like, okay. So the problem here is with the 3-hour tour, because it was a 5-hour tour, you can only they did a beach landing, and then it was like a 45-minute drive by taxi back to our hotel. I would have booked this all to ourselves and just do like a 2.5, because like these people, like we were done with our snorkeling, and then the rest was just sitting on a boat. And I'm like, I don't want to do 2.5 hours of sitting on a boat sailing.
Yeah.
So I would definitely highly recommend if you do it. And there's some of the people that are through Jason Enai and Guru Jason Arnold. So that was rough one. Jason and Jason, J and J. There's the black belt promotion. Yeah, but we had a good time. And then let me. I get to test my body out, and still got a ways to go. But where is it? Here we go. Where is it? Could be this one. Yeah. But yeah, those were thinking about coming along with. By all means, there's. Oh yeah, here we go. Plenty of. We are all about bringing people along with us.
Yeah, with that much time to kind of plan ahead.
So this is the
faithfully.
Hey, stop that. People will be jealous. Here we go. I'm getting lag here on the screen, but this is on my Instagram and stuff. And I was looking at it. It quasi looks like at times that it was sped up. It is not. Just watch the water. It'll give it indication right there. I had a friend of mine, like I started off slow doing a Carenza, and I kicked it into high gear for a TikTok video, whatever.
Okay.
And they're like, well, you sped that up. I'm like, dude, no, watch the video in the back, because I had a video playing in the background. The video doesn't change tempo. Now I will say this, not that I'm special, but in a different way. Greeting from Renee Tungsten. Very good. And
hey, GM.
Then greeting from Zach Harper in Florida. I'll see Zach this coming weekend at the Maya conference. So I'm home for 3 days and I go back on the road. Yay. But, here's the thing. A lot of times cameras cannot catch how fast people are. So a lot of times it looks like things are sped up when they're really not.
Yeah.
I am that damn fast, though. So, and then hello, Eric from Portland, our friend. So, but no, you know what? Oh, here we go. BBC presents interpretive dance with Datu. This dance is called Bees Everywhere. Well, good thing you weren't there for karaoke night.
Oh my God, that would have been so funny.
Yeah,
if you were there as well.
I'll put that up there. I'll have to edit this because there's no PG Tye. I'll have to edit that. Oh, I'll have to edit that. I'll have to have one of these banners set for you when you're around. When Tye is slacking.
Yeah.
Take it away. Okay. So, rant of the week. This will be short. Contrary to popular belief. So, my rant of the week. So, recently, Brian Zolinsky did his event, his legacy camp. Had different numbers each day because he was selling. Not everyone did the entire weekend. but at one session, one day, or I don't know if it's one session or just the count for the entire day, the count was 90s to 100 people.
So on.
Same weekend. I had 20 plus people, 20 plus instructors at our instructor development camp, along with another 15 virtual attendees. The following weekend, you and I and others got together in Maine, and our numbers were throughout the weekend, because we had Saturday and Sunday. There were a handful of people that didn't make both days. Or some people
But
Sunday
turned out to be bigger than it was expected.
Yeah, there was at least 60 of us that weekend. Now you consider 2 camps the same weekend. Oh, and then our Nice Fest was this past weekend. So, which was kind of a combination of modern Nice, small circle jiu-jitsu, and DKI, Dillon Karate International. Looked like they had around 50 some odd people. Now, here's my thing I just want to say. We need to stop worrying about these promotions or self-promotions or the influencers getting all these accolades. Well, what we need to worry about is take care of all those people that showed up these 3 weekends. Okay, so Brian had 100, or we'll go on the high side, 100 between my physical and virtual. We're gonna say 45, 50. So that's 100. We'll say 50, 150 there. The IMAF had another 50. So now we're going to call that 200. And then we had our event, which had 60. So it's 260 people, which I think is great. And what we need to do is focusing on nurturing them, keeping them in, worry less about giving people promotions and more about developing the next generation, retaining our members and getting new ones. Because I don't think, to risk sounding like a broken record, as people will talk about success, they have no idea of scale. So, and I'm gonna,
or the definition thereof. Each person's definition of success is going to vary, I guess.
Right. But if we talk about what was going on in the past, people don't understand the scale of what was going on. Professor was doing 60 to 100 people each day.
Professor
Praces. Okay. Remy Praces. So he would do a seminar in Buffalo on Saturday and then shoot over to Connecticut on Sunday and have 60 to 80 people at both events. And they weren't close to each other, so there weren't people going. Now, there were some events that were around the corner and people going to both. But is he being silly?
Who?
Oh, okay.
What's that?
Well, okay. Is there? Okay. Well, okay. I thought Renee was being silly.
What did he do?
I would say, okay. Here, is there a particular collie that's popular in Bahamas?
Renee, your shot glass.
Shot glass. Okay. There we go. That's the shot glass. Nope. Hey guys. Okay. So, looking at stuff, you say, hey, that's really good. So each of us did a weekend that had some impact. But how many weekends of the year are we doing like that? That's the scale.
Yeah.
Inasano,
not a lot.
Inasano is still bringing those big numbers in. Okay.
I think pending where. Don't quote me on this. Yeah. But fair to say, yeah.
So, and Remy would have weathered COVID fine. Hopefully he would have got through healthy. But Remy and Inasano are the same age. Remy passed away. But if he was still with us, he was gaining momentum when he got near the end of his life. He says shot. Again. Shot. Oh, okay. He's playing a game. Okay, gotcha. Now I know what's going on.
What's going on?
You're playing the shot game. What's the word I'm saying? Is it scale?
No.
Oh, it's Remy Price's shot. Now I know. You're just upset.
Wait, that was the thing. I messaged him. I'm like, I wonder how long it'll take him to.
Okay. So, anyways, but we were. Well, it's relevant to conversation because wait for it. They're all Remy Price's seminars. Take another shot. But
This is what makes you such a good sport. We can joke around with you. You know?
Yeah. You're just upset because I'm a real master because I can karaoke
faithfully.
There you go. But but I look at a lot of people out there. The numbers have shrunk significantly.
When you say numbers shrunk, as in attendees?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then clubs. So I'm talking to. Wait for it. Grandmaster Geronimo. Nah, I didn't say it. But I was talking to him about, getting ready for the World Championships and such. And I asked him about how many Seacrons are still, where there's people that do Seacron. And, we got this guy, we got that guy. Unfortunately, a lot of these places have closed down since COVID and have not reopened.
Sadly.
So I don't care. I mean, and not to say it the wrong way. Doesn't matter where you have people. If they're not training, it doesn't do us any good. So
it's funny. I thought in this whole mix of COVID, I thought like, wow, things are going to kick in, pretty quick. But you know what? What I'm starting to see, and I think what really brought it out was the weekend we were all together. I think it's like taking up to this point for folks to really just get reacclimated, if you will, or whatever the case may be. But it seems like now people like, okay, it's done. People are seen to be coming more out now, and if that's the case, that's great. But I guess
think we're picking up momentum.
Yeah, I guess my point is, I didn't think it would take this long.
Well, okay. Here's my problem. So you can put this in the category of a rant. I have no problem with using virtual seminars to extend our reach to places that we had no access to.
Sure.
So to supplement training. Yeah. But I think we got to get away from this. I'm seeing certain people that all they're doing, let's do it.
Yeah.
Is it bad if I name names?
Just to piggyback off what you said.
I don't want to name names, but it's just too many people they're doing so many. They couldn't do physical seminars, period, or very few. And now they're doing all these virtual when they didn't even do physical ones back then.
Can I give you an example? This is what I do with Blade Tech, because I have students that are local and I have students from afar. So what I do is when I do them, though, I have demo partners. So folks that are online, they're actually seeing what am I doing. It's not me by myself.
Excellent.
For that. So I have, attendees that come physically, and then for the folks who are not as close in there. And I think that's the magic formula.
That's
for
crucial.
Me. You know what I mean? I can't speak for others, but that seems to work and resonate with the folks I'm dealing with.
And there's some people, there's no reason for that, and they're doing this because they've been there and they've done it.
But here's the thing, though, it's not going away.
I just say, I think
we
need to step
it's too
up.
Easy. I know, but it's too easy. It's not going away. It's too easy. You know what I mean? You got people going right at. In other words, I take it very seriously. I don't do it at my house when I'm doing the seminar. When I do privates, different story. However, when I'm doing like a seminar, which I just referenced, I make sure I'm going to the gym and all that. I have space. There's people coming. I have people to work, people to see the room, and all that. But yeah, I think there's some people, for good, bad, or indifferent, that are definitely are taking full advantage, and I don't mean that in a bad way, as a means to solicit students, income, it's convenient, all the above.
Personally, I think there's a whole bunch of people who there's some talented people who are doing virtual seminars that I think may have gotten lazy.
Well, but I mean, I'm always being nice, but I mean,
No. I'm not that guy. So
yeah, and I'm not
you're
saying,
the good cop. You took over
I'm not
Ty's spot.
saying, I don't think that's out of the realm. I mean, complacency. I mean, again, the convenience of just doing it out of your house, and now I don't need to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's part of it. Sure.
Yeah, I just I think there's some good people out there, and I think they got lazy, and oh wow, I had to make sacrifices before. Now I don't. Matter of fact, I stopped doing my virtual seminars. I stopped, and then the guy in Germany goes, "Hey, Datu, when are you going to do this again?" I'm like, "Okay." So I do my monthly hybrid, but I still have.
But you have people there. Yeah.
People there,
That's
and
important.
a lot of people just they want the monthly seminar and they'll purchase it because, what do? I do Google Meet. I've paid extra for it, so I can not only can I have a lot of people on there an unlimited amount of time, I can do a recording and then I do digital downloads for that. For the people who attend. But but I don't oversaturate the market.
No. Nor do I. I make a point to do them every few months. And again, to reiterate, I got people that are physically there, and then the people online, and so they're getting a good visualization of what I'm doing, in that. And to me, that's key. But that's just my opinion, which doesn't mean anything.
Well, it goes back to what I did with Mike. He did the class with me, and he didn't get beyond a certain level until he crossed hands with me. Because you need that. You can't just do it all online. Because there's a tactile sensation with what we do. If it was kata, it's a whole nother animal.
I agree. I mean, what I do. So with emptying against, I mean, there's clinch, there's banging in. I mean, you're right. You have to have eventually, and like I told my guys, I mean, after level 1, we're going to need to see each other. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately it's up to them,
Yeah. And there you go. Cool. But all right, let me get caught up on this, and then we will hit today's topic. So boom, training while injured is something I can relate to. Play a game when it hurts today. Okay, let me see here. Matt Jones, hey, he had damn well better not get blood on Datu Tim's carpet, LOL. I think that had to do with the shot game. OMG, LOL. And please don't sing. LOL. All right, here we go. Here we go. First time I hosted an Asano. Can we take a shot on that one?
120 to 68. Wow.
I was there for the 120.
That's almost half, 50%. Jeez.
And okay, listen, when you have anybody, you're going to get those local looky-loos.
Yeah.
And it depends on how often you see them. So, Remy came in yearly. Shot. And Asano didn't come in yearly. Okay, I think he came in 2 years back to back. But prior to that, John Maidmont brought him up to Toronto. That was the first time I saw an Asano. That was like 91. And then there's a huge gap in time when you see someone on a yearly basis.
Yeah, you get acclimated, you get in a routine. Yeah, when there's gaps of time like that, you lose
And
people.
how
Sure,
many
sure.
people are on the program and how many
Oh, sure.
people come just to see him? I mean,
Especially
I
with
did.
him, there's a lot of both, right?
I went up because really, I went up because someone was using both of our names on an event. And I talked to his guy Joel, while we were there. And then while they were talking on the sideline, Guru Dan and I were talking about Dr. G because we both trained with Mung G. So, which was great to actually be able to get close to him.
Yeah,
But
yeah, you're right. Without having to go through his whole
it's not a seminar
entourage.
experience I want to do again.
I've
But I
heard
see.
mixed things.
Yeah.
I heard, it's if it's something you can do, do it. But I've
You
heard
should
mixed
listen. You
things.
should put it in your checklist, the bucket list. It's something you should do.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
Renee said name names. We'll talk about that later, maybe. I've been with more. Okay. I've seen more people becoming affiliate of systems during COVID than ever before.
Because of the online, because of the virtual, I can agree with that.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like I said,
Here's the thing: it's a
I was
double-edged
using
sword.
yeah,
It's a
it is a
double-edged
double-edged
sword.
sword.
It is, because if it's spreading the art, then you have to look at it as a positive. However, if
Yeah.
there's an aspect of people are just, I hate to say it's because everybody's journey is their own journey, but if it's people just doing it for name collecting or this or that, I mean, but
Well,
then
it goes
again,
both
it's like, who
ways.
am I to say?
Some people are just looking to monetize. They have no intention. They just sell rank.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And then Rodent does Dangerfield. He goes, here we go. Brock, I still drive 2 hours to your place, even though I can do hybrid lessons. Hands-on is always better.
Can't argue
And
that.
then, hey,
Arrow, I tagged you in a post in FMA discussion. Check it out and let me know. PG
okay.
Arrow.
And then,
Hey, Craig.
there we go. Craig says
You're a
hello.
good guy, man, Craig.
No. PG Tye is doing something very. Oh, you know what? And this is before we get in there. He said shot again too. There's a delay. Listen, does it really count if I say shot?
Well, if
PG
you catch
Tye,
yourself playing Remy and you say shot, that suffices. So
okay. Remy praises. Tye, okay. This is something I plan on bringing up. Listen, for martial artists, and I've actually said this in the seminars, and I've told this to Dean when we were up in New Hampshire, and he brought his family. And I did something that a lot of people don't do. I actually thanked his wife for letting him come out and play with us. And I'm not saying that event. I'm talking the martial art community, period. We don't want our significant others to become martial art widows. And if you want to have, as the saying goes, happy wife, happy life, it's true.
Yeah, it's real.
I've brought Janice to a whole bunch of events. And some events are like, she went to Barbados with me. But some events,
nice.
I won't bring her to the events because I feel we were at an event we used to go to Atlantic City. And what I would do is it's a convention type thing, and she'd go hang out, and I would end my stuff early. And she'd be like, "Oh, you didn't have to do that." You go, "Yes, I do. I do have to do that because you're with me." And then afterwards, we had one night where they weren't because of weather, or whatever. The wives couldn't make it, the girlfriends couldn't be there. So when I came back, I said, we're not doing this anymore. You are not going to these events of this style. There's a certain type of event I do. I go, you want to come to this area? I'll bring you back the very next week. I don't care. But the thing here is, I will always worry about you when you're with me.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And I will end my things, even though it's a business opportunity for me. If I have family with me, I will always sacrifice that for my family. So, and I shouldn't, because really what I should be doing is working hard for the family by doing what I'm supposed to be doing for the business.
Yeah, but it's just innate quality. I mean, while they're there, you're going to wonder if they're okay, what they're doing, are they happy?
So for those who have significant others in their lives, whether it's married, cohabitating, or whatever the case may be, make sure you do what's right. And that's why we don't have PG Tye tonight. It's his wife's birthday, and he's celebrating it the way he should. Okay? And that's what a real man does. Okay. Being male, having the genitalia doesn't make you that makes you a male, not a man. A man is responsible for his actions. And if that sounds a little sexist, I'm sorry, but it is what I am. Okay. Here we go. I'm sorry for being rude to Dean. No, don't be sorry. Here you go. And he says, shot. Errol says, yep. He says, I'm in. Dean Franco, I'm in.
All right. Thank you, Errol. Well, Errol, I'll be in touch. I'll give you a little more specifics.
Okay. For a love affair, two strangers. Okay, he's singing a song. Okay. What is a hybrid class? Okay. Or hybrid lesson. So I teach a physical seminar in my school, but I have, or I do a camp or whatever, and I have virtual attendees along with the physical attendees. And actually, prior to COVID, I was using Skype to do private lessons just to keep tabs for forms and stuff like that. Someone had a problem here. And even now, what does someone do? They shoot a quick video on their cell phone. They send it to me via Facebook Messenger so I can check the stuff out. I go, no. Did you change this? No. Well, then the problem is you made a mistake somewhere. Oh, okay. All right. Whatever. For me, I'm a happy ex-wife. There we go. Jason Arnold, who is in Barbados right now watching our show.
Well,
from Canada. Okay. Will Tim's wife be tested for her 7th dance soon? No, she's done it 6th, I think. Yeah, but never know. You never know. Ma'am, sir. Okay. I'm watching from the island, Barbados. Yes. All right. What is the song you're singing today? Hoping to get an encore. A Wheel in the Sky would be the sequel to that.
Oh, so you're a Journey fan?
Well, I grew up. Well, my voice is better suited that. I mean, I could do Simple Man.
Leonard Skinner.
I could do either the Metallica or the Bob Seger version of Turn the Page. I like them both.
Okay.
In the Air, Phil Collins, Non-Point, a few other ones here or there.
Yeah.
But okay, so as we go down the road, so today's topic is training through injuries. Now, before we start today, I want to let you know that neither Dean or myself are medical experts. So we're going to just give you the benefit of our experience, but you should always see a doctor or personal trainer or someone in the field who actually knows what they're talking about. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and then here we go. Dean, stop moving your hand like that below the camera view. I think he's thinking you're doing something else there.
No, I'm just saying. I'm sending PG Errol a message.
And Jason said
but
he
thank
actually
you.
can sing and dance. Well, no, because I was doing the ting and cling, and somebody, Dean Franco, thought it was more important to watch to film and post my karaoke because jumping over sticks wasn't important to him.
I feel, this is my opinion, I feel you should show everybody that video.
Hey, it's on Facebook. They can find it for themselves.
To me, like episode 355, it's a tearjerker. So.
Well, if you put that out there and more people know, it'll probably surpass 355's viewership. So, there we go. The winner here again, Laura Silver. Okay, here we go. Boom. But not like Carl. LOL. Okay, yeah, you'd be surprised. But anyways, this guy keeps turning. Okay, yeah, the Jason. Me too, Dean. Okay, all right, here we go. So we got through all that. Okay. So let's talk. Dean, you've had a few injuries in your martial or during. Okay, now not necessarily from. Like my injuries have nothing to do with martial arts.
Yeah, mine were due the initial one, and the initial injury really, and this is rare, but really just kind of perpetuated all surgeries thereafter. So my initial injury was a knee injury. It was a partially torn ACL. And so when he went in there, well, let me preface this. If you guys have injuries, I'm only going to speak in terms of the knee. Just make sure you go to a sports orthopedic. Just don't go to a regular orthopedic. I didn't know any better. That was the first issue. Okay, so really go to a sports orthopedic, not a family one, and one that's reputable, that works with college teams. Again, just my suggestion. But so I had this knee injury. He goes in and he cleans it out. He doesn't do anything to the partially torn ACL. And at this time, it's late 90s. I'm starting to just learn about this stuff. I really don't know what the hell I'm
and
what I'm
late
talking about.
90s. I mean, we're talking.
Yeah. I mean, 20 something. I mean,
People
literally,
don't know what they were doing back then.
yeah, 24 years ago. So after that, they came up with this thing what they call shrinkage. So they would go in there with heat and they would hope that they would shrink the ligaments. That was a joke. So the third operation, he finally replaced the ligaments. However, he didn't do a good job. He did not clean out. So long story short, I finally got with this doctor from UConn who was a doctor for sports teams. And if I saw him first, I would have only had probably 2 surgeries and not 9 knee surgeries. My first 5 or 6 were this guy I referenced, till I finally started to realize more and self-educate myself. All those injuries, knee injuries, led to my left hip being crutches all those years, and my right knee through my left hip just completely, like, it looked like the Grand Canyon. So I had that replaced. But all that said and done, if you were to look at me like 10 surgeries, like, how can this guy even do anything or move? And the thing is, you have to be proactive. You have to be responsible for your own recovery. I used to, weight training before you go into surgery and afterwards. And I can absolutely attest to this, that was a huge, huge difference and why I'm able to still do what I do today, despite all those surgeries, is I'm just very proactive, get in the gym, strength training, a lot of band work. But you got to stay at it. Now, had I not been doing these things and I was kind of a couch potato, I can guarantee you I would have had a knee replaced by now, because when you're not doing anything, of course, the atrophy begins to set in and all that. So that's kind of what happened with me. But yeah, but again, just being proactive and just being diligent about your recovery, and being responsible for it, not just relying on doctors and what they say and do.
So we need to listen to doctors, but remember, there's many stories out there of people doing things that doctors said, you'll never do this again. You'll never do that again.
I heard it.
Because they want to keep, they're trying to prevent themselves from a lawsuit.
I had one doctor tell me, yeah, you'll be okay, walking and all that, but anything about that. I mean, and clearly, if anybody's seen videos of me, I'm not walking.
So
not just
first
walking.
First of all, first thing I would say is medicine's come a long ways. Completely. Sports science, everything. I mean,
but research, though, we're literally at our fingertips. Like, go be diligent.
Do
research.
What you got to do. Now, we are, we're athletic. I'm not going to say we're athletes, but as martial artists, we're athletes to one level or another.
I think so.
Unfortunately,
to some degree, right?
Yeah, to some degree, we're athletes, and even people who don't look as athletic as you want, we got our bodies to perform a certain way.
Sure.
And I've seen some martial artists that are, okay, I've had 2 car accidents now that's messed up my body and other things. And I've gained a lot of weight during the rehab of the first part. And it's hard. Once you get it out, it's very, very hard to get out. You're out of habits and stuff like that.
Cardio, lose, dropping the weight. And there's another thing too. Just, obviously the more shape and everything else, the recovery is going to be obviously a lot easier,
So a lot of my attributes I still have, but certain ones like endurance, I tried to jump on a plyo box the other day. I did 24 inches. I was happy with that. Then I tried to do 30. Not so happy with that. And I could easily do 36 inches before, but I'm looking at like 235 right now. And when I was coming up, I was like 190,
It's a huge
180.
45 pounds. It's a huge difference.
Yeah. So there's a lot of depression and stuff like that. But here's the thing. So when I'm talking to, I've got a shoulder specialist, I've got a knee specialist. I can't think of anyone getting sent to a generic orthopedist these days. I think it really boils down to but you still got to talk and make sure that you're doing it.
Depends though. Okay, here's where you can get sent to somebody that might not be the best pending insurance networking, and if it's workers' comp. If it's workers' comp, you might not have a choice who to go, because if they're in that, depending on geographically and what plan you have, sometimes you're regulated to only a few. I mean, it's only when your insurance covers a wide span of providers, I mean, that you can kind of search and all that, which I was luckily at, towards the end. But again, a big piece of this, Datu, is really self-education, like really looking up what's going on, getting opinions, researching the aftermath of the surgery. What does it need to do to get back on your feet quicker? I mean, these are things that I just chose to do, and then being proactive.
Right.
One of the things you touched on, I think is really good to talk about, is the depression.
A lot. It's okay. So when the word depression is thrown around a lot, and a lot of times there are so many different degrees of depression. I'll give you a good example. I'm supposed to do my tournament. I almost canceled it. Everything, I've been dealing with this nonsense with the car accident. I talked to my PT guy today. He's like, yeah, I'm seeing improvement every time you're here. But we are not, and we talked about it. Actually, I showed him some footage of me doing my carenza and stuff like that. And I go, this is what I did with my right. I could do the same thing with my left. I can't do that anymore. And then and he's like, okay, well now, now he's the point. He's like, all right. And my doctor, along with my trainer, thinks that I could beat the shoulder without surgery. But I'm getting a clicking, so when I'm doing rows,
yeah,
and then I'm doing I do a military a press where the arm's out, and then I use the shoulders to push that, right? And when I'm doing my rows back, I click, and I had him put his hand on my shoulder. He can feel it, I can hear it. That was never there before. When he's doing a stretch like this to the elbow, which is a good stretch, by the way. He told me that. Where you take your stick, put it over your shoulder, and then pull it this way underneath. Good stretch. Professor taught me that one.
Wait.
John.
Remy?
Oh, see, now I get it. Now I understand. So I have to say Remy by name.
You have to say Remy, and that's yes.
Okay, so the new game show here is when you're at home and watching this. If I say Remy's name, then you have to take a shot.
Renee will show the shot, or write out shot, or show a shot glass.
Okay.
I will then simulate taking a shot.
But just remember, this is FMA Talk, the Modern East Chronicles. So obviously, Modern East is all about Remy Praces. But
this is why we would know there would be a lot of shots.
Okay, there we go. So, but I get to a certain point, and I lift it up, and it hurts, and then he says shots again. I don't know. Does it count if I keep saying it on purpose, knowing that it's the game?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Because then I'm calling it out too.
Yeah.
But it goes to a certain point, and then once it goes beyond that point, it's feeling okay. So there's a certain degree. So at 60 to 80 or 60 to 70, it hurts. Before and after, it doesn't. Or reaching that and just beyond that. So I'm seeing improvement, but I'm still not where I was.
Yeah, it sucks. Injuries,
all that stuff, it just tears on you. I'm like, I couldn't get this together, couldn't get that together, and then all of a sudden, a phone call came in something good happened, and then it completely changed my mindset because now I might be going 4 days a week because I have to have them work on my knee, and I might need to have a knee replacement. And I was like, I'm feeling good, and then I take a turn, and all of a sudden, no, I'm not feeling good anymore. And I'm not talking turn around the corner. I'm talking I twist my foot a certain way. All of a sudden, my leg's going. So, and it's been like we've sucked over 200 cc's of fluid from my knee so far.
I had that done. Oh my God, when they drain your knee. Oh, it was one of the worst.
Well, so you saw me, okay, and here's the show. I'm not even going to pull it up. If you look on my Instagram page, you're going to see a video of me doing a chair workout with one of my guys. I hobbled, and you were there when I did that. I was over at New Hampshire.
Correct.
I was walking around like I always tell like Janice and the others, like, listen, and when you see that guy walking across the parking lot, and it takes him like 10 minutes to go like 5 feet, I was like, if I ever looked like that, put me out of my misery. So I'm always like looking over my shoulder, wondering, waiting to hear if I hear, because she knows the combination of my shotgun lock.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, you know, and like I said, I feel a lot better. But I mean, that weekend, I was crushed, and then I got home a couple of days later. They sucked 95 cc's out of my knee, an overnight difference because it allowed my knee to move. Now, I gave out a few times where it wasn't doing it before because everything was tight, including the fluid that was in there.
Exactly.
But I couldn't bend my knee for shit, and like I said,
I know I couldn't even when I had the fluid. Oh, I tell you, fluids. Yeah, it's.
Okay.
Matter of fact, they had to do two. Matter of fact, that was one of my surgeries. It was I got an infection from a surgery, so I had a drain, and then there was it's just misery. I mean, misery, like surgeries that just shouldn't have occurred. You know what I mean? It's just
All right, let's get caught up here real quick. I'm gonna skip that one. I don't want to talk about that one. I was just shoving sticks with finesse up someone's butt. I don't want to talk about that.
I'd rather.
Okay. Training while injured, the story of my life, avoiding the warranty. Errol, I went to a regular ortho, torn my ankle tendon. 2 months later, tore it again.
Absolutely on that, folks. Like, don't go to a regular orthopedic. Go to a sports orthopedic. I mean, just like Errol's situation there.
I'm going to talk about that in a minute about Europeans. Remind me of Europe. Okay. Jack Daniels helped get me through a lot of tons of energy.
I'm shocked.
Well, I always say duct tape, coating, flavored Tylenol, and Jack Daniels in any order, but definitely in combination goes a long way. Renee, Dr. Glenn Lovett was mine. Holy shit. Dean, you're lucky you're still alive after having all that damage.
Yeah, people
here. Same school of medicine, Broski. Yep. Boom. Dean Franco.
Yes.
Know your body, health. Okay.
Yeah, everything Errol's saying here is so true. Like, I mean, know your right. I mean, one of the things. This is a really great point he brought up. You know, when I was going through all those surgery, you really begin to dial in and know what you can do.
I'm going to talk about to the four-legged member of the family here because you keep talking. I'm listening.
Roger. So I mean, much just again to reiterate what PG Errol said. Like, you get to know your body and you get to know what you can do. Like, for instance, in my case, yes, I've had 9 knee surgeries, no replacement yet because I've been proactive in the gym, strength training, overcompensating, of course, for the deficient ligaments, or basically having a 7-year-old knee. However, though, know your body. Like, for instance, I'm not doing single leg, double leg takedowns. I mean, that would basically put me out of the realm for months or indefinite, depending. I keep my grappling. I do it still, but it's very controlled. More isolation just for maintenance, if you will. So you got to know your body, what it can do, what it can't do, and don't do things that are going to just put you in jeopardy and re-injure you. I did that. Like when I had the 9 surgeries, here's a funny story. It's actually really stupid on my part. So I had a clean out. They go in there to clean out. I was not saying nothing. It's a couple stitches there. So I still had the stitches, and I went to a grappling class. And so I'm in somebody's guard, and I post up bridge, and boom, stitches just blow out. Now, obviously, that was incredibly stupid. I had no business going to a grappling class with stitches in my knee. So again, just not doing stupid things to continuously get re-injured, because martial arts was my addiction. I couldn't stand being home, the depression aspect. I wasn't good staying on a couch watching TV. I wasn't into video games. And so my outlet was martial arts, getting out there with everybody, and I couldn't stand it. But, but I'm telling you, I didn't do some of the smartest things. I got re-injured because I didn't give enough time during the surgeries. And so don't do what I did.
Well, I'm into video games, but martial arts is my passion. And it crushed me during all the time I couldn't do the things I wanted to do.
Downtime is a mother. I can tell, like, for instance, here's the time frame of my surgeries. 99 was my first one. They went all the way up to 205. So in that 6 years, I can't tell you how many times I was on the couch, crutches, depending on if it was a reconstruction, a clean out, and all that. But those 6 years, I mean, they were just gaps of training. I mean, wasted years of just not doing due diligence of research and not just being smart.
Now I want to talk about the Europeans. So I was teaching in Denmark, and one of the guys, he does handball. So it's like soccer, but you throw the ball, you don't kick the ball, versus the one up against the wall, And what they're telling me, a lot of the competitors over there will go to a country like the States that has a commercialized healthcare program, because they have a socialist healthcare program, and their doctors will there's no incentive to be good in Europe in a socialist healthcare system, because you still get paid the same rate. But over here, because it's a business, the best surgeons get to charge the best rates.
Well, it's capitalism. I mean, you pay for where you're going to capital. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the benefits.
There's nothing wrong with a capitalistic situation here when it comes to this. So things to think about. Now, here's like what my therapist today, we talked about. He goes, I want you to be doing the activity that you're concerned about not being able to do again. I couldn't throw a jab with my left hand. I was almost in tears one day because I was going like this. I thought I was a velociraptor. So we do.
Can you do that again?
Like this. You like that? Yeah. And where's Dean now? Okay. The control center. All right. So like what I'll do a staff form. And the motion is this way. I can do this now.
Oh, good. Okay.
I couldn't raise. Right here, I couldn't raise my hand without being. I get to here and I have to stop. If I took my hand and lifted it up, I had to stop.
Yeah. All right.
If I shot it up quickly, I was in excruciating pain for a short moment of time. I couldn't wash my hair. And listen, when I'm 58 years old, when you have almost 6 decades, let's say 5.5 decades, because, probably when I was maybe when I got 5 is when I started doing things and my body started getting dialed in. When you're a baby, you don't, there's no left or right or whatever. You just do right, But from 5 years on, 5 years old and on, that's when I started getting habits with each hand. Which hand you drink with, which hand you cut food with, whatever. And now all of a sudden, after decades, over a half a century of doing something with this hand, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, it's hard.
And thinking about it, I was getting teary-eyed talking to my doctor about this, because I'm like, how can I not throw a jab? How can I not? I mean, I actually had to do the stuff. I did. Once again, this is my thing. I feel like that Russian dude, the one I'm talking about.
The what art there?
Martial artist that's all over
somebody will name it. The name is escaping me now.
Yeah. So, but I mean, when my orthopedic surgeon for my shoulder said, Tim, I think we can fix this without surgery. I'm like,
because they don't have shoulder surgeries down. So
and here's the thing. He's a surgeon that said no.
I know. That's good. Like, they have knee surgeries down. There's footballs playing with ACL reconstructions. They have hip replacements down. But when it gets to shoulder, neck, and back, they don't have that down.
When I'm looking right now, and the guy doing my knee, he's like, Tim, we could clean it. We could scope it and clean it out, which means they're shaving pieces of this off.
Which is scar tissue, which is
is
another
not,
injury. People don't understand. Surgery is an injury.
Out that they're not replacing.
Yeah.
Just things to think about. Just remember that. So, or we could talk about a knee replacement. And I'm like, I want quality of life. And he goes, the problem is if we scope you, then it could start hitting you even quicker.
Yeah.
So I mean, these are all the things you need to take into account. Like I said, and here's the thing. We're talking from people who are doing athletics. What does he have a new thing he told you?
No,
is there a new shot word? I can't see that. Oh, Renee, you suck. Renee just sucks. So
it's good that you're a good sport.
You're really lucky. I can block his ass. No. Hey, listen, I've never taken myself seriously. So what the hell? Why would I get upset about this? So if when it comes to health insurance, you're stuck with what you got.
Depending on the country and what your policy is, and I mean, hey, with regards to the questionable knee replacement to you, because in other words, when they were bringing that up to me, they were saying only partial to me, if I were to get that point. But it's funny, my inside corner of my right knee is going, but I gotta tell you, what's been keeping me afloat for 5 years, able to do what I do and do it well and not be really slowed down? Cortisone shots. I've had like 4. And I'm telling you, man, they buy you time. And the whole thing with cortisone shots is, with specifics to the knee, you can't have more than 3 a year. I'm going to tell you something. If this is what it takes for me to keep going for 10 more years, I'll keep doing the cortisone shots, because the thing with the knee replacement is not that I'm opposed to doing it if need be, but you got the partial and the full knee.
Yeah.
They're saying I would need partial, which is a big deal, because the partial is a very semi kind of quick recovery. The full is, I don't know, I can't quote the months, but
right now they're telling me if I do a full, well, either one, they don't want me flying for 2 months.
Yeah.
But then again, they go, for blood clot stuff, but then you got people flying into the Mayo Clinic, doing what they got to do and hopping right back on
so that doesn't really make sense.
So I mean, it's like that catch-all. Hey, don't eat eggs, but now it's okay to eat eggs, but whatever. So listen, at the end of the day, you got to figure out what you're doing. Now, we're talking specifically from martial artists' point of view, which means there's some form of athleticism here, or athlete mindset. So obviously you need to talk. And here's the big one. You have to be full disclosure. You got to tell them what you do. Oh, listen, I am an athlete. I'm doing martial arts. Okay. So our approach for you, because like you said, well, we just scope it, but Tim, with your profession, let me get a second opinion on it. Well, I mean, first of all, you should get a second opinion before you get cut.
Yeah, absolutely on that.
And it's your right to. Although like the orthopedist I was talking to who's doing my shoulder, I got two different clinics. The knee guy from this does the shoulder. He's like, I call the place up and go, hey, I'd like to get a second opinion. No, we don't do that. Our knee guy will take you if you want to switch over, but we don't do second opinions. Well, aren't we special?
That's the first I've ever heard of that. But it's funny, back to your doctor there. there. This doctor I have, the one I referenced from UConn, used to doing the sports teams, and he was saying, I could tell you right now, and I just want folks to hear this as far as being proactive, because the reason why you don't need a knee replacement right now is because you are active, and I could tell you're in the gym. I could tell you're pounding out, and he says that is fantastic. So for folks that are listening, like, don't just hop on the wagon of like getting surgery. Like, really try to do what you can as far as, strength training, band work. I mean, everything. I mean, obviously, when the least restrictive thing for a torn ACL is surgery. You can't, there's just nothing you can do. But, and again, I'm talking in specifics to a knee, but yeah, just do what you can. I mean, I bought tremendous amount of time not having to get a replacement. But again, the cortisone shots too. So
once again, we are not doctors. We're just giving you our opinion from. So one of the things I was in my PT sessions today. I go twice a week, and once again, we specifically talked about this. He goes, Tim, the best thing to do is the activity that you can't do. Now, maybe you do it at 10%. Maybe you do it at 15%. You start off nice and easy and work. I mean, I was having problems where I pulled some stuff and I'm like, all right, I was lifting at the gym. I went from doing 100% of what I normally do down to 20% just to keep atrophy from happening.
That's another whole issue, man, when that sets in. Like, because it's tough to get that back. Like, I have a good, at least half-inch less on my right leg than my left. And it's tough, man. And I'm telling you, I work it. It's just tough, man.
Your leg is shorter by that much?
What's that?
Your leg is that much shorter?
Diameter. In other words, if you were to measure my quad, my right to my left, but I tell you, it's tough, man. It's tough to get that back.
Never skip leg day.
No, matter of fact, I went to two times a week on leg days.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, I think, I had the same thing happen when I would be doing my just when nothing was going wrong. I could tell when I've been behind the desk too much.
Stiffness.
So I run a full-time school. Yeah. Okay. So I got to pay bills. I got to make appointments. I got to do all this stuff. It's very easy for me to sit behind the desk for 5 hours in a day. Here, I thought when I went martial arts full time, I'd have like 7 hours of training every day. Wrong. Now I'm teaching all my classes. I'm teaching most of my classes. I've got, I'm not teaching them all now. And that's the point. That's what I need to get to, because I run a full-time school. I'm now starting to.
Yeah, but the thing you're going to have to look at, like, for instance, like, I don't run, like, I just teach privately in seminars. I don't have a full-time school. I sold in 2012, but your circumstances are much different, because if you're dealing with, I don't want to say chronic, but if you're dealing with kind of injuries and they're going to have effect on, like, far as floor time and et cetera. And I'm not saying that's the case now. I guess maybe I'm talking as far as future tense. You're going to have to look at, like, perhaps getting somebody to pick up some of the load. So why? And the reason I'm saying that, so you can work on yourself, because the worst case scenario for you is going to be you keep doing the load you're doing. You don't get time to, work on yourself and keep your thing. That's not a good formula,
Yeah. So, but bare minimum, make sure, like, if you got a leg issue, start walking, start moving. Don't sit down there. It's too easy to get depressed. Okay. I was lucky to see an orthopedic surgeon who was a sport optimized, even with workman's comp.
That's great.
Yet it took lots of arguing with.
See, I'm going to tell you, because some workers' comp, man, you got to go within their, what they have as far as their offerings,
And yeah, we already know you're getting amazing screenshots. Shut up. Shots. Okay. 13 surgeries. Your attitude and desire to do what you've done is to recover, strengthen, and return to close to normal as before. Ask questions prior to surgery.
Absolutely.
as what is going on happening. So I'm going to get you. I'm going to give you one. This is what happened to us. Janice's son got surgery on his leg. Well, all of a sudden, Janice had to go over to his house twice a day for like 6 weeks to help with stretching. I'm like, did you not look into this? Why does your mother have to do anything?
Yeah, why is not physical therapy? Yeah.
But he couldn't move. He was in a cast. All this stuff couldn't done. You should have had a therapist.
PT should have been.
He should have had somebody visiting him at the house, because not everyone has a family member. Now, Janice was putting on like 100 miles a week helping out. Actually,
it's a lot.
Maybe more than that.
Somewhere PT should have been in that equation. I mean,
and because he didn't ask questions. Like, you need to ask all the questions. Hey, I'm a martial artist. Can I still do this? Can I still do that? And here the thing is, there is no such thing as too much information to give your doctor. They'll just sit there and say, nope, that's unimportant. Oh,
my only thing with that is my only counter to that argument, and I agree with you in there. My only addition to what you just said would be what Errol kind of touched upon. Know your body, because they don't know your body. You know what I mean? Like, know your body.
Yeah.
You know what you should be doing or you shouldn't be doing, and what how far you should be pushing things, and you know.
I know when something is wrong.
Yeah.
We know how our body works, and maybe I'm more in tune than others. Okay. But
I think injuries do that to you, though. They make you more in tune.
Well, here's the thing. So I was in an automotive, so I'm always looking at symptoms. I'm always listening to things in my car. If something's not quite right the same. I used to, we used to competitively bike race each other. We would do it with remote control cars. We do slot cars. We do this, that, and the other thing. We're always trying to dial in the best performance of whatever we were doing. And if something was wrong, I mean, I was always like, skateboarding, roller skating, you name it. If I felt drag, because I was just more in tune. Some people walk around completely oblivious, but Bill Wallace is it the Karate Geek? Is that Swedish guy who does the interviews? Swedish karate guy does interviews, whatever it is.
Huh. I'm not familiar.
So, Kali was Okinawan martial arts or whatever, and blah blah blah.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right.
So he did an interview with Bill Wallace, and they said, well, "What do you say?" I go, if you're in pain, do something about it. Don't work. Old school mindset is rub some dirt on it, and you'll get better. Now, here's what I am going to say: some of the later generations are a bunch of little pansies out there. Bunch of little bedwetters. Oh, I scraped my knee and stuff like that. And I came from a different era. Still, when something hurts, take note right away.
Yeah, and is it how long is it going on? Right.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong, especially, there's nothing wrong with taking notes. Matter of fact, that's all my doctor wants me to do now, or my attorney wants me to do now. I've got daily logs when something goes on. Like, I haven't been able to do archery all year.
But does he know about your croquis? I mean, was he okay with that?
With what?
The croquis? Was he okay with
karaoke? Karaoke. He's okay with that. As long as I use my right hand, I'm okay. But use the left hand, there's the issue.
I was just checking.
Actually, here we go. More for Renee. This was okay. I could handle that. So, Renee says more shots. Okay, 13 surgery. Okay, we already talked about that. Matt. Okay, fine. Okay, there we go. Renee. Getting limber is the most important. I found that yoga helped me, especially now when I'm getting older and warm up. And that's it. I mean,
that's what I should look into is yoga. Yeah.
Yoga, Tai Chi. I always joke. I go, yeah, when I'm done doing martial arts and I've retired, I'm going to do yoga or Tai Chi.
But it's like, why wait till you retire?
It's
like,
when I get too old to do martial arts, I'm going to do Tai Chi or something,
Yeah. I got to look into that.
But really, there's nothing wrong with that stuff. But I mean, we all joke about it. I mean, I'm not, I still don't have the patience to do. Actually, I can't go to the places that offer it. because it's just too far away from me and it takes me out of my daily stuff. And they don't offer the times that I'd want to do it. Now, I'm looking at doing some boxing, because I can pad for everybody, but I have no one that can hold for me to that level. So I was actually looking at a couple boxing coaches and actually paying for them to come over to my club and train me on site, because that's the problem I have.
Cardio, right?
Off site, which just takes too much time away from my business.
Yeah, but they can go to you, right? Exactly.
Yeah. So, but or hey,
by the way,
you're looking for a gym to coach out of if you're doing, and I'm not talking doing contact boxing, although if they have insurance from Boxing USA, it covers damn near everything in the world. But there you go. How did you get the fluid? Wait, how did the fluid get in there? If you're talking about my knee, so it's agitation and it causes fluid buildup in there, because something's wrong inside.
Or infection.
4 surgeries on my ankle since 2005. I'm due for another one. I'm due for another one, most likely. In 2017, they wanted to amputate my knee. Wow, from the knee down. Amputate from the knee down. Damn.
That would have been a very short conversation. If I wouldn't be like,
yeah.
There
we go. 9 surgeries, kung fu. Try going through the VA. Yeah, that sucks too. Sam Ford. Oh, wait a minute. Is that my Sam Ford? Not my Sam Ford. Sam Primo's daughter. Here. The VA sucks. Shoulders, necks, back. Yep.
They're just, I mean, you hear nightmares,
Why is Dean cracking up?
I'm due to, I would have to admit, probably Renee. Yeah.
Renee, yeah, it's all Renee's fault. Cortisone.
Absolutely. Cortisone, I had, the cortisone dose, I talk to people, doesn't have zero effect, but for me, it has such a wonderful effect on me. But I hear people not so much.
And there's no, listen, so there's no cure that fits everyone. Here's one worry about.
That's a good point, man.
Potential of opioid addiction. Yeah. So, like, I'll tell people, like, when, like, I've got a couple of my guys, oh, my arms, I can't, I was having problems where I couldn't hold anything in my hand. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I was at my gym, I was working out at, and they're like, oh, you got tendonitis. What? And I'm lifted, no problem. I go to grab a glass or those mini camcorders we had back in the day, and like, or I go to grab a UE boom, whatever, I couldn't grab a speaker. It was just like, I couldn't lift the speaker because the angle and it was from constant doing the sticks too much, that's what I do for a living. Went to a chiropractor, because there's nothing wrong with a tune-up. And while I was there for an extra $5, I got a massage, from deep tissue massage on my arm.
All right.
Oh my God, huge. So I always tell people, like, listen, I'm having real trouble holding sticks. Dude, go get a deep tissue massage. Trust me. If that doesn't fix it, something else is going on. Because I know the symptoms of getting tendonitis and stuff. I'm like, yeah. I've learned one thing. Let yourself heal.
Yes, so true.
Continuing the train.
You know what? He's so right. Like I was explaining about my knee surgery. I went back way too soon and freaking back in the freaking OR again,
Know the difference between discomfort and pain. Very good user. Yes, Jesse and Camp Karate with Jesse. Don't know what that was. See, why wait? They're all fun. Not sure, Sam. Tai Chi means grand ultimate fist. And Tai Chi Chuan means grand ultimate. Okay. All right. So we're caught up with content. So let's talk about options of training, because we talked about all the different treatments. First, and let's just wrap this portion up. Do the research, get second opinions. Don't Men are not very good at communicating. We're not good with our emotions. We're not good at telling stuff. When I go to these business conferences, like I'm going to go this weekend, a lot of people are, hey, who doesn't do this? Who doesn't know what I'm talking about? The room doesn't, that say a word, then you hear it in the hallway. No one knows what the hell they're talking about. I'm like the first one there. And people are, why don't you should know this? Why would you say you don't know it? Because I don't. And I'm spending all this money. I'm here to be educated.
So I can know. Yeah.
So I can know. But the thing here is guys as a whole, they're like I went to the doctor. I go, hey, can you check to see if I got a low T? Just, and I was talking to someone recently that doesn't have a lot of testosterone, and he was kind of embarrassed about it. I go, what's to be embarrassed about? If your body doesn't make enough testosterone, you got what's the big deal? I mean, it's not like, what, you're worried because you can't, you think it has to do with your wiener not getting up there? I mean, come on. I mean, who cares? I mean, if you don't talk to your doctor about what it is, you can't get things fixed, or it's a symptom of something else.
Datu, did you just say wiener?
I said wiener.
Okay. I just wanted clarity.
I did say wiener, Schnitzel. There's no shots on that one, baby. That'll be the new one.
I don't think that was part of the. I don't think that was part of the game. No.
So, but you got to talk to your doctor. You got to be open and clear. Know your body. Know what pain is versus discomfort. If you've got a clicking and listen, hoping it goes away is bullshit. It's not going anywhere.
No, that one's
not going anywhere.
Well, not in my case. It never went away.
So, I mean, most likely you need to do something. I ignored my leg for a year. Someone fell on my knee during a demonstration. And next day I was fine. The day after, it just locked up for a year.
This is my nightmare. Somebody falling on my knee sideways. Oh.
Deep tissue massage cleared that all up. Yeah. But I had to do months of it. Had I done it a year earlier, I'd have been fine. Mm-hmm. But the thing here is I was too. It'll get better. It'll get better. It'll get better. No, it won't. No, not when it's to a certain level. I understand when you don't have insurance or you have crappy insurance. What is the quality of your life worth? I have plantar fasciitis and a heel spur. And right now, as far as I can tell, it has been completely managed. Mm. But it wasn't that way. And when I told my doctor, my foot specialist, I go, where are we at on this? Am I going to need surgery? He goes, well, eventually. And I said, bullshit. There is no such thing as eventually. If I need surgery, we're going to get it done. Because, I'm 58, 57 at the time. I'm like, I do not want a shitty quality of life. I don't want to wait 5 years.
Yeah, especially when we get older.
Like 5 years from now, what's my healing time going to be like? So
100%, yeah.
Fortunately, I was a good candidate for shockwave therapy. So it's kind of like the hammer that the chiropractors use on your back, that machine. So they go to me now. Listen, Tim, this is not covered by insurance. Mm. It is 3 treatments, but they gave me a 4th treatment, no extra cost. It was $500. That's nothing. We spend that on a weekend away. How much did you spend in hotels when you went up to Mike and May's? Think about that. Don't tell us. Just think about that number.
No. I just want to hear 500 for 3 treatments. Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
It was 3 5-minute treatments. That's it. That was like, you got to be kidding me. But you know what? The quality of life.
Well, if your quality of life was a significant change, then it's worth it. Sure.
I mean, because now I had to deal with a lot of, I had to go back for 6 months. I couldn't ice or have any type of inflammatory medicine in my entire body for 6 months.
Yeah.
That sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the whole idea is they agitate it so it heals better, it heals again. And they don't want to, they don't want, you don't ice it, you don't do this. Then when it came time for my knee, they went to they put a cortisone in it to get things going. I'm like, hey, listen. He goes, no. This is very localized. It's not, it's a specific area we're hitting. It's not going to affect anything else. I'm like, okay, just so we're on the same page. But here we go. I'm in with a doctor talking about my knee, and I talked about something else because I want to make sure there's not a cascading effect. I took care of my grandfather before he passed away, and I went into the pharmacy with all the prescriptions. They're like, you don't need this shit. Matter of fact, some of the medications are doing so. All the doctors are not working with each other.
Yeah.
They go, oh, you're having this problem. Here you go. But do they really look to see what they may know what medicines you take, but are they really this is what you need to help with this? And a lot of times you might be taking if you're taking multiple medications, like my grandfather was in his 80s, there was multiple medications doing the exact same thing. So there's no reason to take the quantity of pills he was doing. And some of them would have side effects, the other ones didn't. So, you need to talk to your doctor, you need to talk to your pharmacist, you need to check all this out, because a lot of things people are not being upfront with, or they don't think about. They're thinking about what they need to fix, not the side effects.
But also to bring up, I think it was Kurt, but the whole, and I kind of went through this. Luckily, I saw the issue coming, and I immediately, literally, got both hands in there and dealt with it. And that's the opiates. In other words,
yeah.
So I was on a waiting list to get my hip replaced. So what they were doing essentially, because I was in pain. It was I saw an X-ray. It looked like the Grand Canyon. So every time it was just grinding basically. So they were giving me in that time. They were giving me. Oh my God! Name me some painkillers? Not Percocets. Hydrocone. What's hydrocone? I don't know. Anyway,
I don't take anything. So
well, good. Anyway, so they were giving me these to just basically function, daily, whatever I was doing. But I can tell you something. When the prescription ran out and they didn't renew it, there were some days in between those days, man, it was rough. And at first I couldn't attribute what was going on. And finally I realized, holy crap, this is, I guess, what you could construe as withdrawals. I was like, no way, I am not going to go running to heroin. So I completely dumped them, got off them and all that. But it is a serious issue. These young people get hooked on this stuff, from not just young, but I tell you what they do after that, because heroin's so much cheaper, then they go to heroin. It's terrible, 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 So that's a major issue today with injuries, that folks that are on painkillers, and then when they don't get them anymore, because the street value of painkillers is more than the street of heroin. So what are they going to do? They're going to go to heroin.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Tell your doctors what you do and what you will continue to do upon recovery. Yeah, so they know what's going on. Hey, this is the activity I do.
Yeah,
what's going on?
Honest, right?
And as we said, some medications do have some dangers to them. Okay, Kurt, I'm imagining an opioid addiction.
I was not having that, man.
Hey, stay strong, brother.
Yeah.
And then here we go. On my last injury, I was given a mix of perk. And
that's what they gave me. Oxycodone. That's what they gave me. And that, I'm telling you, that crap was like, when I tell you, there was like 2 days. I'm like, what the hell's going on with me? And then finally somebody said, you might be having withdrawals. And that was it. That's all I needed to hear. I'm like, done.
My right knee is shot, torn meniscus, torn right up. Seeing a surgeon again in a few weeks. I doubt I'll have surgery. Supposed to have had it in 2018.
Yeah, I had a few of those. Yeah.
So let's talk about how do you deal with this stuff?
Deal with as far as what? Injuries?
What do we? How? Okay, so
during or after?
Well, the whole time. So what can we do? What are our options? Now, of course, it's going to be based on the type of injury. So, a big one.
What is it?
Your shot glass is ready.
Uh-oh. I'm ready.
Okay, here's what Professor Price has taught me.
You didn't say Remy.
Okay, Remy
Just
had
kidding.
gout, and it would flare up. And a lot of times, what he would do when it was really flared up, and there we go. Yeah, you got that was for you, by the way. And he started feeling phantom pain, body wanted more pills. Yep. So, and then take your shot glass there. So, what Professor would do is when it was flaring up, he couldn't stay on his feet very long.
Mm.
So, he would teach the class, and then he'd go take a chair, and he'd sit 2 chairs facing each other, and we would work out with him on the sides, get back up and do it. I have saved people. I've become the king of stamina. So, here's one of the things we can do. I'm in Portugal for Jeff Espino's Kali Silat Evolution Camp. And the first session, 3 people blow out their knee at the camp. I'm like, well, you okay?
What the hell are they doing?
They're doing kickboxing. That's part of what they do.
Right.
He does Savat. He was a Savat fighter. Does some kickboxing. So, they just, twist the wrong way. Okay. But I mean, the camp had like 100 people there. So, people are moving around. So I go to him. I go, well, it's my session next. You're not sitting out. Well, what do you mean? I go, you're sitting in. So I teamed people up with chairs and we started doing this. And I was the king. I was at the Defense Lab conference in New York City, the last one they did. Same thing happened. Girl blows her leg out. Oh, here, come here. Sit on the side. So if your legs are blown out, you still got your upper body.
Yeah, stuff you could. Yeah, I mean, as far as activity, there's absolutely, like, believe me, going to, not to reiterate or be a dead horse on the ground, when I had those 9 knee surgeries, you better believe I was doing stuff. I would have been homicidal. I mean, so yeah, there's absolutely stuff you can do. I mean,
because that's how do we navigate this? Well, first of all, we don't stop what we do.
Right,
we just
right.
change
You
in
get
how
creative. I got creative, like
So-
dumbbells, train. I mean, yeah, you get creative.
One of my guys is a cop, and he blew out his right shoulder. So he started doing his stick techniques left-handed, which was actually better because he's, so as law enforcement, he's the righty, strong side is back.
Right.
I tell my students, do not betray your training. Keeping that strong side back, like your boxing and whatnot, which means for a weapon fighter, you have the weapon in the rear hand. So he just put it to the front hand. He just started doing everything. He became a left-handed fighter because his body would let him do that.
Isn't that something? Yeah.
And we're supposed to be ambidextrous anyways.
Correct.
I mean, professor made us train both hands, so we would go everything right-handed and left-handed. He was a lefty, but you watched him go. On the videos, if you see footage of him, you wouldn't even realize he's left-handed until he switched hands. So, okay, your legs are blown out. You can still do your upper body. You do your one hand is recovering. You still got another hand.
Yeah, absolutely. No, there's stuff you can do. Yeah, it's just a matter of tapping the resources, being creative, and having the will that you still want to continue to do things. And if you're vested, you will do it.
There was a guy. So I was at the gathering a few weeks back in Sacramento. Guy walked in with a wheelchair. He had this cast on him. It wasn't a cast. It was a metal apparatus. I haven't seen anything like it in a long time, where there's all these metal rings around the leg and there's screws drilled into his leg and pulling the bones to straighten everything out. He was still doing some stuff with his hands. So what did Renee say now? I can't see that.
Sorry.
He likes that. Okay.
He's taking great shots. Yeah.
He's taking great interest in this show,
which is good. Yeah.
Okay, so Oxy and Hydro, in addition, starts immediately. Working time approximately 3.5 to 4 hours.
I think I had the Hydro, if I remember correctly.
Lifetime in the body, almost 72 hours. Withdrawal manifests as pain, so you take more to alleviate the pain caused by.
Yeah, I tell you, man, those 2 days, I'll never forget those 2 days. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? And
Well, I
after
can think of a
that,
lot of things, but
thank you. I
you
was
listen to
spooked.
Renee for one.
I got so spooked. It was enough to drive me like, don't ever give me that crap again.
I am happy that I've never had to take anything of that nature
Well,
before.
good. That's fantastic.
I mean, what I'm taking right now is an anti-inflammatory for my knee.
Yeah, those are sure.
But it's nothing worth talking about. And then for a while I was taking some naproxen at one time for another injury, but nothing stuff that if I keep taking would be bad for my body, but I wasn't taking anything that could become addictive.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. It's up to us. We've seen it time and time again. I think in the past, I think doctors were based on their knowledge of medicine at the time. You'll never walk again, but they're walking. You'll never do this again, but they're doing it. I think they always, I mean, as a martial artist as a business owner, what I want to do is under promise and over deliver. But I think sometimes people are just afraid of.
I think what it is, these doctors give these prognosis and the people just fall for it and they just accept what they're saying. And before you know it,
Well, I also think they want to cover their own ass. So in case you don't
I
get
understand
better.
what they got to do it, but what I'm saying is I think people just firmly believe it and they don't question it, or they don't even try to see if they were completely true across the board as far as what their future mobility or ability will be pending the injury, and they just fall for what they say and they become complacent. So I think it has a lot to do with who you are as a person. Are you gonna let just somebody says that, or are you gonna just do it? I wasn't.
Yeah. So recovery, learning how to walk again, took a lot of PT.
Well, that's right. When he had his burned injury there. Yeah.
But it was worth it. It was worth the wait to continue training. So listen, here's the thing. I'd say most of our viewers are the equivalent of black belts. They're instructors of some sort. A lot of people that maybe not everybody, but they've been.
You say the majority though, right?
If we were dedicated to do our craft, then we need to be dedicated to do this. As a martial artist who tours quite often, gold belt. As a martial artist who trains often, I've seen other people become alcoholics, addicted to drugs, addicted to a lifestyle where people are sleeping around and doing all sorts of things. It's discipline that led them, or lack thereof, that led them down that path.
That's a key point about discipline. Like, yeah, in other words, if you were disciplined in your regimen of training, hopefully that's going to carry over in your discipline of, post surgery or post injury. I mean, whatever, it takes for you to get back to where you were or close thereof. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I don't smoke tobacco. I don't smoke weed. I don't take drugs for pleasure. Yeah. I don't drink very often. I drank in Barbados, but I mean, you look at all the things that I do. Like my vice is food. It's food. Okay. But when was the last time any of y'all saw, well, those who are on the road, when was the last time y'all saw me with a beer in my hand or something? Okay. You're not going to see that very often. Barbados, yeah, of course I had margaritas or we were having different things here and there. I mean, it's rum punch. That was the whole thing. You're down in Barbados, you're going to have rum. Okay. I had someone take care. One of my black belts watched the house. The last camp we did, I had like a case worth of beer. I'm like, dude, drink as much as you want, take as much as you want with you, because it was left over from the party that other people brought in. The booze, that's okay. That goes in our bar. That doesn't go bad. But beer gets skunky. And it's not that I don't drink beer. It's just that, if I have 5 beers a year, that's a lot. Now, what's Renee saying? What's Renee saying? You had that look on your face.
No, this is actually from Coach, and he's Coach Danny.
Okay.
I wasn't aware he had let me see, 2 weeks of a total knee replacement. Wow. I didn't realize Coach had a total knee. So it looks like maybe, well, in his case, the downtime obviously wasn't that bad because he's moving around and getting back.
So they're telling me right now that if I go in, if they scope it, it's a 2-hour treatment, 4 hours if it's the knee replacement because of the anesthetic and stuff like that. Both out the same day. I'm right into rehab immediately. So, no cast, probably just a brace of some sort. But really, I mean, here's the thing. I look at all these guys that have gone down that lifestyle. And I think the problem was they were hungry for a certain lifestyle. When they got it, they overindulged.
Yeah. Which it goes back to the discipline part, right?
There you go. Dude at the gathering, dislocated ankle, 1 year recovery.
1 year for dislocated. Wow. Yeah.
Hey. So, listen, if you're out there and doing this stuff, I don't want to say it's easy. You just got to say it. You just got to do it. I've drank. I've smoked. I've tried it all. I tried it all. It's not what I like to do. So, but, my grandfather became an alcoholic at the end, and probably because he lost his wife and was dealing with depression. My father, as a state trooper, had some alcohol issues, in my opinion, and I think that's because of the job.
Stress, job.
Yeah. And back then, okay, he passed away when I was 1980. So 1980, there wasn't much therapy. There was nothing for people who had to deal with the death they would see on highways or
not like today where they got There's nothing in place.
Now, oh my God! Someone called me a bad name. I need a week off. Okay, the society has a lot more help to deal with things than they did before. I mean, before we were underdiagnosed. Now I think we're
I think it's over.
Now we're over.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
But the thing here is, for those who truly need help, it could be there for them. And I mean, and that's the thing. We also have to help the people around us help themselves. If you really truly care about them, you need to get involved. Once again, I when we talk about, well, I'm going to go down this path. Just side trip bar here. We talk about everyone goes after the Second Amendment every time someone goes on a mass shooting. Who in their right mind would go on a mass shooting? So to me, the issue is not firearms, it's mental health.
No, it's
and if you're ignoring the problem, how does regulating firearms change the problem? They're just going to get in a car and run you over, grab a knife.
Well, here's the thing. We have a huge mental health crisis in this country. Yeah. In terms of Connecticut, we shut down a lot of the mental health facilities. And guess where they went? They went into other group homes that were designated for mental health or the streets. So, I mean, this is country, this is widespread, So, yeah, huge problem in relation to the guns. Yeah.
So, that's the sides of it. Once again, it's all about discipline, saying so. And then, listen, we have to be there for each other. Yeah. We're in this together, which means if someone in your crew, family, whatever, is hurt, you need to be there, because maybe they're not in the best mental state. Not crazy.
Yeah, right. No, I get you.
I have days that I'm just not, like I said, I'm going to close my tournament down. I'm going to do this. I'm going to just screw all this shit, because I was having a day that everything went wrong.
Right.
And it just ticked me all off. I got frustrated. I was frustrated, which is part of depression. I was depressed and I got mad about it. And then the day later, everything took care of itself. And I'm like, dude, what the hell was I thinking?
Or just offering to friends like, hey, let's work out together. We'll figure out something that we can do. I was fortunate to have guys like that when I was going through my knee surgeries, where they would literally pick me up. I'm telling you, I was very lucky to have, you know what I mean? Very lucky, very, very lucky, so blessed.
And no one's going to be there for you if you're not there for them. I mean, the thing here is we have to develop this culture amongst ourselves. When you're out for yourself and that's all there is to it, it's very evident. No one's going to give a shit, like screw him.
Yeah. They're not going to.
Man, he's there for me all the time. I'm going to be there.
Yeah. You're not going to get any phone calls. Yeah.
No. So here we go. What do we got here? Broken hand, broken ankle, compressed discs in my back, still slinging rattan. There you go, brother.
That's it.
Bill, are you in Guam or the Philippines at the moment? Because I know he goes back and forth. About 3 hours ago, Datu Tim. Just kidding. Okay. Hey, there you go, Renee. Goes, call me anytime, Tim. What do you want me to call you, Renee? Trauma-informed education and peer support mentoring is an important tool as an instructor. You know what? I once had a shot glass.
It's a drink. So cute, though.
The sergeant said, or the guy said, Private so-and-so said to the sergeant, Sarge, if a woman don't meet your standards, lower them. That's what drinking is. That's what drinking. Listen, here we go. Drink till she's cute. I'm going to say that right now. That's BS. Because that means when people say, "Oh, I was."
What was it? The old saying, "Beer goggles." That's the whole beer goggles.
Beer goggles don't exist. You were going to do it anyways, but you sat there and have the excuse.
I haven't heard that term.
I'm saying everyone in general, but when people sit there and say, "Oh, I was drunk. I didn't know what I was doing." Bullshit. You know exactly what you're doing because if you're going to start drinking,
some of my friends, man, they would some of the things they picked up. Because
they just wanted to hit it. That's it. It had nothing to do with being drunk. They would have done it anyways. They just used alcohol's excuse. I always find that as a bullshit thing. But okay, Guam, yep. But the trip to the Philippines is very near. I'm going to be over there in February, actually. So, although I had to I booked my flight so early, I keep having emails. Your flight disappeared. You need to call us. Okay, fine, whatever. Just fixed it again today. So, mental state is everything.
Yeah. Discipline.
Okay. And discipline, be around
self-education, proactive
and communication, full communication. I don't underestimate anything that is a potential symptom. I'd rather tell my doctor something and say, don't worry about it.
Better safe than sorry, right? Yeah.
I was like, hey, listen, I was doing this the other day. I feel better here, but and then, like I said, I want not today's, but the previous one. I go before I went to Barbados. I'm like, hey, can I show you some stretches I do, and can you just tell me what you think? These are upper body stretches. Because martial artists, we just hand shit down, or they're handed down to us. No one knows if it actually works or is good for your body.
Yeah, we just assume.
We just assume that the people before us do what they're doing.
Double legs are fantastic for your body.
Yeah. So I showed them a bunch of the stick stuff we did, and lo and behold, I was lucky. Every stretch I told him or showed him was good. He just said, just the one where you put this over your stick and then put yourself in this kind of tweaky thing. This is for you, Renee. Take a screenshot of this. There you go. When I do that stretch, I can't believe I do not have a hunk of rattan in this room. But
okay,
okay. He just loves to do a screenshot. Good resolution, I gotta say. Must mean I've got a really good signal here. I got good lighting finally here. But the Coyote Ugly. Here we go. Looks beautiful.
After a bottle check, Daniels. Gosh.
Danny T. Those are physically active and practice of physical contact endeavors tend to have higher pain tolerance.
Yeah, I
And
think
the
that's
attitude is
fair.
getting back to normal. Yeah. But,
Yeah.
so good mindset. Know your body.
Proactive in recovery.
Proactive. Ask all the questions.
Disciplined, self-educating.
Talk about your expectations. Hey, Doc, will I be able to play the piano again?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Well, I couldn't play it before. Here all day. But I mean, but the thing is, these are the kind of things we need to have those discussions with. Don't underestimate something that's going on with your body. Don't second.
Yeah, another thing too I want to touch on, and I think they've become the whole field. I think is I'm assuming this. I don't know this for sure. I haven't done any research, but I'm assuming the whole medical field has become such aware of the opioid issue. So if they're handing them out to you, just if you're really not that bad in pain, you can deal with it, man. Don't take that crap, man. Just don't. Just don't. Yeah. That's all I gotta say on that.
Okay, so here's what I would say. If it's just a pain, it's just a pain thing, depressant, maybe reconsider taking it.
I'm sorry, what now?
If it's not just suppressing pain, maybe don't take it. I mean, if it's okay, got me a shot of cortisone. Janice will not do cortisone. It burns. She hasn't had any good success with it.
Yeah, she just might have a bad reaction to it. Sure.
Okay. So, but there was also antalgenic or something else was in the mix. It wasn't just that. It got me to the point where I could start doing the stretches to start dealing with the problems and restrictions I had. But until I got to that point, it was too painful for me to do anything.
Yeah.
And then I started doing stretches right away, and I'm like, made a huge difference. And this is, it was a month ago. I can't believe that it's really. I'm not saying cortisone doesn't last, but I don't think it. I think by now I would have been noticing it wearing off. It's not a fix. It wears off.
I think it's different for every folks. In other words, the last cortisone shot I had was 2 years ago, but I can tell you, again, it was. I think the reason why the longevity is so long, or lasting effect with me, is because again, supplementing it with going to the gym and not just relying on the cortisone shot, but actively strengthening, moving, stretching, band work. Again, it's funny because due to all my operations, what I refused to do was rely just on doctors. I'm like, no. At that point, I came to the realization I need to be an active part in this. And I think some folks are reluctant. I think they just surrender themselves to what the doctor says, and that's kind of it. And I, based on my experience, that didn't work for me.
My feeling on these things ultimately is you need to have a vested interest in this. And if you think, okay, this is what I want to ask my therapist, my physio guy. The other therapist tells me other shit all the time. But when I go in for physio, I want to ask him, I go, listen, why am I doing this every day versus every other day like I'm doing already? Because I know when we work muscles, we should, when you lift, usually give your body a day off in between. So I want to talk to them so I get an education about this. I'm not going to assume. I want to, the thing is, I don't want to just trust the person. I want to ask why. So listen, when we say things,
something too, like asking, like people I think are reluctant to ask the doc, like, why? Yeah. I mean,
listen, okay. And this is the thing, the martial arts, Americans have got the bad rap for a long time. You we'd ask a question. Are you questioning my
That's what I
authority?
mean. Like, yeah, like
No,
who are
I'm
you?
questioning for because I'm
Yeah.
inquisitive.
Yeah, I want
I
to
had
know.
the 2 piles of toys. I'd tear them all apart, and there's the pile that I could put back together, and the other one that became spare parts.
Yeah, I just think it's just being self-responsible. Like
Yeah.
I don't care what they feel. I'm like in the beginning, I'll admit I did. I was caught. I was second guess whether I should do. But now, like I don't care. I just
When I had the procedure on my back last year, I asked the doctor if I could go back to doing bull riding.
Yeah.
Did you do it before? Probably not. And then Advil over.
Yeah, 100%, coach. Yep.
Listen, there's plenty of, pain's not a bad thing per se.
You know what it is?
Pain
You know what I
lets us
found
know
though?
something's going on.
But like with Advil and Straction, and I mean, with some light workout, stretching, and all that. Again, back to that. Listen to doctor here. Well, go on these for a while to but not even exploring like just anything else.
Well, let's go here. Okay, if you're going to put me on an opioid, the question I would say is, could this become addicting?
And they're going to for transparency's sake, they have to say yes.
Well, then, okay, and then, okay, now that so once again, got to ask the questions.
Yeah, but you're young or you just want the pain to go away.
Right.
I think a lot of people, they don't, before you know it.
And that's why we're doing the show.
4 months removed, they're addicted. They're not getting these anymore. They're raiding cabinets, or now they're going to the street. I mean, this is a very common theme.
We have to ask all the questions to make sure. And once again, what are the side effects of the medication that you want me to take?
Mm-hmm.
Is any of this addictive? Is any of this dangerous for me in conjunction with something else? So I mean, for all intents and purposes, that's how the doctors always ask, do you drink? Once or twice a year, a beer or two. They're like, so you don't drink? Like,
yeah, not even socially.
Yeah. Now, for the record, I can drink.
I want to go back to the opiates. Here's another thing too that people don't realize when you got them. Titration. In other words, go ask. And here's another thing I found out. Like asking, like when you're on these things, nobody asks about how to freaking weed down or get off them. You know what I mean? Like instead of cold turkey, which is which I'm sure is incredibly difficult. But if you want to ask about that, like how do I wean off these damn things? You know what I mean?
But here, like my stepfather, which as the piece of shit that he was, told me something that I actually was informative. He used to smoke. He used to smoke a lot. And one day he said, no more. And he did it. Now, a drug addiction is a completely other story. Because you have physical things, and of course, you're gonna go withdrawal with cigarettes as well, but it's different. It's not the same. I know a lot of people who've quit, gone back, but here's someone who said, I quit and I'm done. Boom. And around me, he's never smoked.
I mean, that's unusual. Yeah.
So it is what it is. But it goes back to discipline of some sort. We all have discipline in something.
Or you just hit your limit, or you foresee the fear of the future, like, and like for me, when I was on that stuff and I didn't know much about it, to be quite honest, other than it was helping with my pain. When I started to realize, like, wait a minute, man, this ain't right. I'm seeing the worst. Like I'm like envisioning, I'm gonna like be going to parks looking for heroin and losing family members. Like I was,
so you get your next fix
or whatever. I mean, just the worst, and just the visualization of that was enough for me. However, though, maybe for people it's not as easy, but the picture for me was not pleasant. And Yeah.
Well, I get that. Listen, once again, we all need help at times. We all need to help while we're out there as well. It's
Very
a two-way street. Develop your support group. Okay, because really, when we're martial arts, when you're starting a training group or a bowling team or whatever, it's a support group for you. And if it's just if you're on, like, let's just relate this to bowling team. If you're just a member of the team that they just want you there to throw the ball, okay, whatever. But I get that. Yeah. But like in our martial arts school, we all worry about. At a certain age, like in the teen adult class, we always let's say this guy's weird at times and blah blah blah. But we're all like, we don't want to see anything bad happen to this person. Hey, I haven't seen so and so. Oh my goodness, have we sent him a card or something? Blah blah blah. The whole school has that. But now, depending on the age of the person, they may not have that level of awareness and stuff like that. But that's what my job is, to show people. Hey, listen, we have to worry about
phone call. Like, not to make this trivial, but like, when somebody's injured and you're not seeing them because they just can't go because they can't do anything, and they're going to be a liability on the floor, whatever, or they can't drive, whatever the case may be,
whatever the case,
just calling them or just reaching out. That's, like, that could be something really substantial and significant to somebody who's on the couch. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, we got to be there for each other. I think overall, well, we can keep going on this time and time again, but we should probably wrap this up.
We're on 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, we've done 2 hours. So real quick, next week's show is going to be about the 3 tiers of training.
3 tiers of training. Did you tell Ty he won't be there?
He won't be there. That's why we're doing that, because it's a secret. He can't know about it. That's the 23rd, and then curriculum delivery is going to be the 30th, and then we're going to talk about the organization WMA USA on the 6th, WMA Canada on the 13th, and tentatively the 20th will be WMA Brazil. WMA World Monitors Alliance. 27th is open. Have nothing planned there.
We'll keep one show open for the project.
Okay, well, we got a couple open because there's another project coming out.
Matter of fact, which just reminds me, are you around tomorrow during the day for a phone call?
Okay, let me just look at this. Go to today. Today, I am available before. Okay, there we go. Between 10 and noon.
Okay.
And 1 and 5.
All right. I definitely have to call you tomorrow. I want to share some things with you regarding that and some new developments
in a good way.
We could go. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I would do it tonight, but I got to do a download from an earlier show.
I'm fortunately I'm ahead of my packing for this weekend. That was a good thing. I'm doing some stuff. So I'll be doing stuff around the house and the school, just prepping for me going away for another weekend.
Okay. No, it worked out perfect. It'll probably be between 10 and 12. Some good things to share with you, though, I think.
Yeah, good.
And so, I figured.
Yeah, and I got some good things about that as well, because we'll talk about that, because So
things taking off tomorrow, actually. The Canada thing.
Good. Okay, good. So. All right. Then we got to talk about the crossing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and here's one more thing I want to throw out at you guys. This is a very short one. Unfortunately, I'm going to be in a lawsuit for this car accident. A guy blew through a red light and totaled the car we were in. Now the car's been replaced, and we got the whatever you call it, can't even think of the name. When you say I'll pay the first $500,
deductible.
Yes. Got the deductible back. Got all that new car deductible, everything set with there. Janice has like 7 discs that are bulging,
Oh,
ruptured, and displaced.
ouch.
I've got a tear. There's no question that it is a fresh tear. And like I said, all the stuff I couldn't do. My knee keeps swelling up in fluid. Okay. Now here's the thing. As martial artists, we sometimes can do things that normal human beings shouldn't be doing. And people will see us doing stuff and they don't necessarily understand what our level of performance was. Because they'll sit there, look, he's moving well. Yeah, but as a martial artist, I could move better. And if I'm competing, or in my case, I'm an instructor, I need to be able to as a coach, as the instructor, I can verbally tell you what to do, but I physically need to demonstrate the technique.
Correct.
Or I need to hold the pads the right way, which is abusive to the body, which is why you'll see some coaches wear forearm strips, or wild boxing coaches have gone to paddles. One of the reasons why boxing coaches have gone to paddle, not the only one. So with everything going on, you also have to make sure when you're doing stuff, like I did a Carenza video, and while I was down in Florida or Barbados. You'll notice that it was not with my left hand; it was with my right hand. Follow the ink. That's what the German goes. You'll note I can't even do a German accent. It's great because I can figure your left and right out because I just follow your tattoo and I know which hand's your right hand. Now, I'm not telling you all for teaching delivery systems, you all need to get ink, but I got a guy and I get 20%. But the thing here is that when we do stuff, you also have to stay off the grid because sometimes people will see you moving and they'll go, no. I can't do what I could do in martial arts. And for me as an instructor, it definitely has more effect. And so the things is we have to also looking about injury. If it happened to do about someone else's negligence, then we also have to worry about someone following us around with cameras.
That's what I'm talking about. Legal. Yeah.
So we didn't even go on that, but I mean, that would be a whole nother thing.
So listen, trying to undermine your case.
Dean, what's the next show you got going on?
It's a good question. What's been so neat with this lately? It's just like, I used to be so anal about like who was next. I had it like so roadmap. Mm-hmm. And with that month off, I'm just like, I am like so far from.
Did you do a show today or did you do a pre-show?
It wasn't really a show. Today was just simply promoting me and Kevin Goat's thing. It wasn't so I didn't even numerically, it didn't have a number.
Okay.
Yeah. But at any rate, to your original question. Yeah. Okay. Who is my next show? And this is kind of funny because
trying to hold
I'd be able to tell you the next 3 shows like a month and a half ago, but now it's like, you know what? It's not that I don't care. I'm just
you got to go with the flow.
So, all right. But back to the question. I think Joel Hungar and his book and all that, or Darcy and Canada. I just got to figure out who. Yeah.
Okay.
But it'll be somebody, and it'll probably be maybe the weekend. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. So is Datu Hartman working on a
weapons kata?
Can you Kate? Kata? Is it supposed to be kata?
I think it's supposed to be kata.
It could be. All right. Here's one thing that it was brought up at the camp the other week. I just want to share it. I actually like this, which is why I'm sharing this. I thought it was very profound. Joe Rogan said this on one of his shows. Love him, hate him, whatever you want, but I like this. This was a quote about tough times making tough people. Hard times create strong men. And I'm going to use men as the mankind, but I'm just quoting. So hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. and weak men create hard times. Where are we today? There's the question. Where are we today?
I don't like the times.
And I think as a society, we're very weak these days.
I would not disagree, and I think it's actually to the point of me, and I sometimes get a little paranoid, I admit it, but it's almost scary.
Well, I think we're starting to see hard times, and hopefully, that'll make people talk. I mean, like,
I don't know, man. I think we're just so bought and sold, and what's coming out of these institutions with these millennials, and just I don't. Do we recover? I don't know.
Well, as far as I'm around, we're going to. I'm in
my world. Midwest and the South, Tim. Yeah, I think those are the strongholds.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing here is, we as martial artists, if we're teaching, we get to change the world one person.
Yeah, we can have an impact, and 100%. Yeah.
New people came in today, and some of my little tiny tot girls were laying around like, "Hey," and all of a sudden, and the two new families looked at me. I go, "You know that place that lets your kid get away with murder no matter how bad they're acting? Yeah. They're down the road. This isn't the place for that." So all the parents like,
no, we have pockets in the Northeast and all that. But I don't know enough of them.
All the woke nonsense. Oh, you offend me. Maybe you're offending me. Why? If wait, are you the only one that's allowed to be offended? Yeah, the hell with you.
Isn't that something? I know.
I mean,
I can't wrap my head around it. That's what's the worst. I just can't wrap my head around the logic, and so because I refute it, I don't know what to do. It's but in my opinion, it's scary. Yeah.
Well, it is what it is. We will fix it ourselves if we have to. That's what we got to do. We can't. You know what? You're either part of the problem or the solution. Hey, who's that behind you?
Oh, Roman.
Hey, Roman, how you doing? Oh, look at that product placement he's got on there.
Volpe's.
I've been playing with this the whole time.
He's a huge Volpe's. He's a Volpe's fanatic.
You should see my collection at the school.
He loves Chris.
I've got every Talabong he's ever made, literally, because he hasn't sold any. He just gives them to me.
He's not selling any of the Talabongs? No?
I'm joking.
Oh, you're kidding. Okay.
Yeah, so look at this. So listen, everybody. As always, it's a pleasure. Dean, thanks for stopping in today.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure. Happy to eventually replace Tye. No, happy always to fill in for Tye. Enjoy it.
I've got your back anytime you need me.
Oh my gosh. You know what?
No, but you're going to tell me.
That gives me an idea.
Oh, we're in trouble now.
No, it's a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So all right. So hey, yeah. Anytime. My pleasure. Happy to do it. So tomorrow, I'll be calling you.
Okay. Do you have a seminar coming up?
I do. I got a couple in November. One is in person online, and one is in Atlanta. Yeah.
Nice. All right, and real quick, just for because we are the world, because the show's about my organization just as much. This weekend is the Northern Ontario camp. PG Craig Mason will be doing that. October 29th, next week Sunday, not this week Sunday. I'll be doing another one of our hybrid seminars, which I need to get stuff out. The Fall Fling, November 11th, is Mr. PG Botting's event he's always doing. It just happens to be on Veterans Day weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
That's when I'm in Atlanta. Okay.
And the Delaware camp is the 18th and 19th of November. Then we have the Southern Ontario camp, which is our Thanksgiving weekend, the Christmas party, and then I'm missing one. I got to put the one up there. Tara Richardson and I are going to be doing an event together in DC on the 9th of December.
Nice. Okay.
So then I get to take a little time off. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But whatever that means. So listen, as always, everybody, please stay sane and stay safe. This is Datu Tim. That's where you say your name.
And back up to the co-host. So my backup co-host, Dean Franco.
I would just say and Dean Franco.
FMA discussion, backup co-host, Dean Franco.
We got to put the FMA discussion. All right. See you all soon.
All right.